Yo ladies and gentlemen, I am Pam. This is my next Polymer Clay tutorial, and in today's video we will create the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. Let's get into that intro! Okay, for the bottom of the Millennium Falcon we will use some gray clay. I'm cutting it onto little pieces and just smashing them together, and after it I made the sketch with the all rooms and little places inside the Millennium Falcon, and I'm just gonna place it onto the gray clay and cut it around. Okay, I'm gonna remove the paper from the clay, and as you can see there is a little print on the clay, but it will be good for us because we can see where the rooms and every little detail are. I already started to create the outside of the Millennium Falcon out of the same color of clay, and I'm just cutting out small pieces out of gray clay in the same height, and I already started to create the few engines on the back of the Millennium Falcon. For it I use some light blue clay, and I'm just putting some little pieces on the top of the gray clay pieces. And after this, I'm gonna put all of these little pieces into the back of the Millennium Falcon. And yeah, it takes a lot of time to create. And I'm gonna add some more structure to the blue pieces of clay, and then I'm putting them onto the base of the Millennium Falcon. As the next step, I'm gonna start to create the inside of the Falcon. I'm just putting a little round piece of the same gray clay in the middle of the Falcon. This will be the main engine with tubes and wires and balls and a lot of containers and buttons and a lot of things on it. And I already started to create it. I'm putting some orange pieces onto one of the pieces from the gray clay, and I also creating another piece out of it with some orange tubes and buttons, and I'm gonna also create a darker gray shade, and I'm putting also a lot of details in the middle of the Falcon out of this color of clay. I realized that it's not a good idea to leave this print of the Sharpie on the base of the Falcon, so I'm gonna remove it with my remover tool, and after it I'm gonna create the main passageway out of this really light brown color and gray. I'm also creating a lot of these walls out of this corridor walls, or I don't know how we should call it, but call it as corridor walls. So I'm creating a lot of corridor walls, and then I'm just putting them onto the base of the Millennium Falcon. I also made two doors on one of the corridor walls, and I'm shaping them a little bit, putting more onto the base, and yeah, it's not too hard. Some more walls, some more little details, and as well some more corridor walls. And I think it already looks really cool, but at the end it will be perfect, I think, but at the end of the video we'll see it. And now I'm adding some more walls, some more corridor walls, and then I'm gonna put some other pieces of gray clay to create the Star Wars feeling inside of the Millennium Falcon. A lot of little darker gray, lighter gray details, those tubes, those wires, those electrical things, electrical switches, and this to get this Star Wars feeling, you know. Okay, now we can start to create the inside of the rooms, but first of all I'm gonna create the engines more realistic and more cool. So I'm putting these dark gray pieces at every engine, one at one, and then I'm creating a cube out of the lighter gray color and just put it around the engines. Placing another motor onto the base, and with two orange wires to get again this Star Wars feeling. And I'm so sorry for those who know how a Millennium Falcon looks from the inside, but I don't know perfectly, so please forgive me. Oh no, I broke my knife. We need to do this creation with half of a knife. But let's back to the creation. I'm creating the couch, the main couch where Han Solo, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker and Lendu are sitting and talking to each other and playing that game on the table. This couch has a dark gray bottom and a lighter gray back, so I need to create this too also. And oh wow, it looks really realistic and really good, so let's put it onto the main room, into the main room. And I also want to create the game table before the couch, so I created also with those little squares on the top of it, and I'm just putting it onto the leg of the table. One more shelf or cocktail table in the edge of the room, an image, 3 boxes, and a lot more details. I don't want it to show this all to you because it's really boring, but at the end it will look like really cool. So now we gonna start to create the front of the Falcon out of this gray clay, and I'm just throw it to the front and it will be a round cutted. So I'm just putting another detail to the front of the Falcon, and then I'm putting a lot of details to the front and to the edge of the Millennium Falcon. So it's also really boring and it's also really long, so I don't want the whole ceremony show to you because, as I said, it's really boring. So I just cut the video and you will see the whole created edge and the front of the Millennium Falcon. But first I'm gonna add some red pieces to make it more realistic, like the real Millennium Falcon. And here can you see the already created edge of the Falcon. I also made the front and the top of the front of the Falcon. I'm gonna put it onto it later. And let's remove it from the wood. Oh, it's really hard, but I think we can put this onto the baking platform. And I already started to create the top of the Falcon. I used my sketch to get the same shape as before, and I'm putting 2 more layers to make it a little more thicker, and I'm creating the surface of it smoother and also adding a lot of details to it. It's also really long, so just watch and relax. Okay, and now it's the time to start to create the cannon on the top of the Millennium Falcon. I'm gonna create it out of darker and brighter shade of gray clay. So I'm just creating a little body and 2 longer pieces of clay and just put them together and put the whole cannon on the top of the Falcon. And one more thing, guys, before the baking, we need to create that antenna on the top of the Falcon. I'm just cutting a round piece of clay and create a little stand for it and put these 2 pieces together and put it onto the baking platform, the top of the Falcon 2, and I think we can put them all into the oven. And here is the big stuff, guys, the antenna, the top and the base of the Falcon. I need to glue the antenna to the top of the Millennium Falcon, and after this we have one more step. We need to use the transparent polish to create the shiny effect on the windows of the Falcon, and after this I think we are finished with this creation. Sorry guys, it was a really long tutorial, but thanks for watching. I really sorry for my hair, it's really long right now. Bye! And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and here can you see my other videos.